So what does the MLS stand for and why is it important when selling a home? The MLS stands for Multiple Listing Service, and we realtors have access to this database. This is where we input the information about your home, all the details about the features of the home, pictures, virtual tours, and this is what gets broadcasted all around the internet. It will go to realtor.com, Zillow.com, Redfin, and all the major real estate sites. And also, agents have individual so-called IDX websites. It will get broadcasted to all of those websites. So basically, multiple listing service means that we input the information once and it will be broadcasted to all the other real estate sites at once. How does my home gets listed on the MLS? So first of all, you will have to meet with your real estate agent and sign a listing agreement. And once that's signed, your agent will take pictures, take all the information about your home, take measurements, do a virtual tour, if any, and they will go to their computer and put everything into this database called the MLS. And once everything is there, they can just activate the listing. And as soon as the listing is activated, it will get broadcasted to all the major real estate sites. What information do I need to provide for the MLS listing? So first of all, you will have to sign a listing agreement. Then your agent has an MLS input form that you can fill out. And basically what we need is information about your home, about the history of the home, about the condition. For this, you will have to fill out a seller disclosure form. And this is something that we provide to the buyer so they can basically have an understanding of the condition of your home. And this is also required by law. And it's also for your protection. So whatever happened to your home, in this form you can disclose, and that way you are protected from any potential lawsuits in case you are not admitting problems with your homes. Obviously, the buyer will also do an inspection, so they will double check for themselves. But first, before they do the inspection, this is something that they can look at to actually understand what the home is about and if they are interested at all in purchasing it. You will also have to allow your agent to get pictures taken for the listing. Most agents take professional pictures. I do. I am a professional real estate photographer as well. We will take measurements for all your rooms. In my case, I do not measure the rooms by myself. I do a 3D Matterport virtual tour. And with this virtual tour, I can also take laser measurements for all the rooms in your home. So we will also be interested in other information, such as if it has electric, sewage, where the water is coming from, about the property taxes, homeowner association fees, and any other fees associated with your home. And I think this is pretty much what we need to get your home listed on the MLS. Will the listing include professional photos and description, and who writes those? Well, in my case, yes. I cannot tell you if other agents are doing professional photos or not. Many are. I am actually a professional real estate photographer. I've been taking pictures for listings for over 8 years. I use HDR, which stands for high dynamic range photography. That means that when I capture a room, I take 5 exposures. It will allow me to show the view in your windows, all the details in the shadows and the highlights of the picture. So it's a very crisp and beautiful high definition picture. I usually take as many pictures as I can. The MLS allows us to upload up to 40 pictures. One of those pictures I usually use for the floor plan, which I create with the 3D virtual tour. And the description is also written by me with your assistance. We also ask your input, the seller's input. If there's anything that you think is a selling point, we can also include that in the description. Do I need to prepare my home for showings before it goes live on the MLS? What I recommend usually is, because you are obviously trying to sell your home, so I will advise you to declutter. And I have a very detailed checklist by rooms that you can use to prepare your home for the pictures. We want to take very beautiful pictures, and obviously the buyer is buying the home and not your belongings. So we will minimize everything that needs to be there. And I also advise to you to start pre-packing, because we don't know how fast your home will go under contract, and at that point you will have to start packing anyways. So what I recommend to usually downsize as much as you can and start packing your for example, if you're in the summer, pack up all your winter clothes and vice versa. And in the kitchen, you can also declutter and then also only use the items that you need on a daily basis. On top of that, I also have a very good tip for you. You know those big bins that you can buy in Lowe's or Walmart for storage? I recommend to have one for each room that you use on a daily basis, and maybe has a little bit more items in it than necessary for the showings. So you usually have at least an hour of notice, but most of the times people schedule the showing. So you will have enough time to pack up the items that you don't need. And you can have one bin for each major room, and then all of a sudden you can just quickly put everything into the bin and put it in the garage. And when the showing is over, you can bring your bins back and still use all the items that you need. That way, for the showings, your home is really decluttered and beautiful. I hope that answered the question. How do you determine the best listing price for my home? The price is one of the most crucial information that we have to discuss together. It basically determines how fast or how slowly you will sell your home. And we will look at your current situation, and also to determine the price, we look at recently sold comparable homes. We call those comps in your subdivision. We compare homes apples to apples. So for example, if your home was built in 2013, it has 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2-story home with a pool, then we will look in your subdivision for a very similar home that was built around the same time, the same size with a pool, and see if anything like that was sold very close to your area and how much it was sold for. We will also look at the pictures, if there are any pictures available to compare the upgrades, if we can, and we adjust the price based on what we think would be the best listing price for very fast showings. But you have to understand that many times we hear that people say that, oh, we're not in a rush. If you're not in a rush, I just recommend that you wait with the listing, because when a listing is sitting on the market for a long time because the price is too high, buyers and other agents will start to think like there's something wrong with it. So you always want to keep in mind that you want to list at the market value. Or if you list a little bit below the market value, that will generate a lot of buyer traffic, because buyers are always looking. And the way the multiple listing service works, that when we activate your listing, it will shoot out an email to all the agents that have buyers set up in a search that we can set up in the database, that they are looking for the exact same home like yours. So as soon as it's active, people will get an email. And they can go online, look at the pictures, look at the price, look at all the description, and decide if they want to come and see it. And obviously, if it's a beautiful home, beautifully prepared home for the sale, well maintained, right priced, then we will get showings right away. If it's priced too high compared to the market, then buyers will know that, and their agent will also know that. So they might be a little bit skeptical about why is this so overpriced. And if it's overpriced, especially in the market like we have today, interest rates are still in the 6 or 7, so the interest rates are pretty high. Home prices are expensive. So people are very self-aware about what they can afford and what they cannot. So if a home is overpriced, they will look at it. Can I get the loan for this? Because they will not come in with extra cash if they have more than one options to choose from. So pricing it right is very crucial, and it is basically the main criteria that will determine how fast you will sell your home. Will the MLS show my home's price history or similar properties nearby? Well, Texas is a non-disclosure state, so if you just go on Zillow or Realtor.com, I don't think that you can. I'm sure that you cannot get the sold prices, but your agent can. So when we are looking for comparable properties that sold in the area, in the MLS, we do have the information. So if you have a home for sale and you need comps, I can run a CMA, comparable market analysis, and run a report and see how much the homes were sold for. We can also see how many days it took for them to sell. And it gives us a pretty nice idea of the median price, the average price, the high and the low. And then it gives us very good insights into where to price your home and what would be the price that would bring you the fastest sale. Can I include specific details like upgrades or features of my home in the listing? Yes, absolutely. Those are the things that set your property apart. And we always ask for a list of upgrades or special features that you have, and we will include it in the description. We have also another part of the MLS where we can upload extra documentation that agents can access, and we can give more information and description in there if you don't have enough space in the property description. And definitely we can take extra close-up pictures if there's something special about your property. How many photos or videos can we upload to the MLS? So right now, currently, NETRIS, North Texas Real Estate Systems, allows us to upload 40 pictures to the MLS, and then we can also add virtual tours. NETRIS provides an automated virtual tour. It's like a slideshow of the pictures, but we can add videos or 3D virtual tours that are broadcasted to the other real estate websites like Realtor.com or Zillow. So on the MLS, we can put up to 40, but if we go to Zillow or if we go to Realtor.com and sign in, we may have the option to add additional pictures on that particular platform. How do buyers agents see my home's listing and schedule showings? So when we activate your listing, agents that have buyers looking for your property will be notified, and the buyers who are set up on an automated email that matches the criteria of the home that they are looking for, they will get an email automatically, instantly, as soon as it's active. The buyers can go look at the pictures and the description. They can easily contact the buyer's agent, or they can even just mark with a little heart or send a note from the MLS to the agent that they want to see this home. And the way we schedule, we have two different platforms right now available, the Showing Time and Brokers Bay. For the agent, when they go to the listing, they just click on the showing icon and it will take them to the scheduling site. On your home, we place, many of our agents, and I do too, we place a Supra Blue Box. It's a device that is activated by Bluetooth, so there is no combination code on it. So we can, agents cannot give out the combination to their buyers, but that way they have to go with the buyer's agent to see the home, because only the buyer's agent can open the lockbox. So when the buyer's agent schedules the showing, they can pick the day and the time. And we discuss with you the days and the times that is good for you to show the home, because sometimes people work from home or they have children sleeping. So we can block off different times, time ranges in this showing app. But when the agent comes, you will get a text message on your phone. And all you have to do, if most likely, if you set up the showing times correctly, all you have to do is just click yes, or just type yes, and then it will approve the listing, or you can decline by texting back no. In the case that you have to decline a showing, it's okay. What I like to do before you decline, give me a call and tell me what would be a better time, so I can contact the buyer agent right away, because as soon as you decline it, they will be notified that they cannot come. And I like to be proactive and contact them to see when is the better time for them to come back, or what is a good time for you to invite them back to see your home. So that way we don't miss out on a potential buyer not visiting the home. How do I review offers, and can I see how many people viewed my home on the MLS? Yes, you can see how many people saw the home in person because they will be scheduling directly with you on the showing app. And then you can also create a profile on whichever showing app the agent is using, Showing Time or Brokers Bay. And you can log in and you can see the times, the dates of when the agents came. You can even see if they came back more than once. So yes, you have absolutely access to see who came to see the home. And the next question was, how do you review offers? So the offers come to the listing agent. So the offer would come to me, and I would look at the offer. I kind of just create a little report of what the offer is about, and I send it to you for your review. And I explain to you what the offer says, what the terms, numbers mean, because we don't just want to look at the offer price. There's so many other terms that are crucial to have a good understanding of how the transaction will go and if it's something that you're interested in accepting or not. Once I accept an offer, does the MLS listing change? Yes, once you accept the offer and the buyer is asking for an option period, which means that they can purchase a certain number of days, and during that time they can have an inspector to come in, do a professional home inspection, and better understand what they're buying. If there's any problems with the home, they can also request repairs from you. Sometimes they ask for price adjustment. And after this, they will move forward or they can back out. So that's the option period is. So once the home goes under contract, the first option is to go under option, and then I will mark it on my end that it's under contract and it's in the option period. During the option period, you can still keep showing the homes, though many agents don't really bother because it's already under contract. If they do not need an option period, meaning that they just want to buy it sight unseen, they don't care, they just love the home, they don't want to do an inspection, then it will show contingent or pending. Contingent means that they have other conditions for them to be able to purchase your home. Most likely it's a financing condition, meaning that they need a loan, and they will have to deal with the lender to provide all the paperwork to be able to get the home. There's also the appraisal, so that your home has to appraise at the offer value. And there's another option that is we see sometimes, which is a kick out. That means that the buyer who wanted to buy your home, they also have to sell their home in order to be able to get the new loan to purchase your home. So that's called the kick out. So there are three different versions. It can be option, it can be contingent or kick out, or if it's a fair enough deal and we're just waiting for the title company to close, then it goes to pending. So I hope that answered the question. How will I know if the transaction is moving along as it should? You will be contacted by the title company. The title company is an uninterested third party or independent third party in the transaction who will handle the paperwork and the closing process. They are the ones collecting the option fee and the earnest money on your behalf, and they hold on to it until the closing. From that point, you will pretty much be in contact with them because they will have to do the title search. You may have to order a new survey. It depends on the transaction, and I don't want to go into too many details like what will be going on during the closing process. But basically, I inform you of the next steps. You will also get an email when we submit the contract to the title company. They will send you an email with the critical dates. So those are the deadlines that we have to adhere to. The deadlines for ordering survey, ordering HOA documents, financing deadlines for the buyer. So all of those deadlines will be disclosed to you. And as we get closer to the closing day, I will contact you to see what time you can go to the closing at the title company, or if you need a remote closing. So you will always be updated of every step and explained exactly what's coming up next. So you're always in the know of what's happening in a transaction. How can I make sure selling my current home aligns with buying a bigger one? It's not a simple transaction. So once we put your home on the market, it's a good idea to already be looking for homes that you want to buy. So at this point, you already should be approved for your next loan and ready to put in an offer if you haven't already. Or if you are building a new home, you will already know the closing date from the builder. So it has to be orchestrated very carefully so you are not homeless between the two closing. Sometimes people choose to move out and just take a temporary rental because it just makes sense to sell during the better months of the year, like in the summertime or the springtime versus in the wintertime. You put your home on the market, you have to make sure that you know what you're doing next. There are different options. You can move into a short-term rental, or you have already the homes lined up for you that you want to buy, and we just orchestrate together with the title company to make sure that the transaction is smooth. So when you close on your home, on the current home, you can also go ahead and close on the new home. Can we update or temporarily pause the MLS listing if my plans change? Yes, obviously, you are not in a hostage situation. Plans might change all the time. Like things come up all the time. So when we activate your listing, we usually explain to you if we want a 3 months listing agreement or 6 months. It depends on the market, and we look at the numbers of how long the comparable property is sold in that market, and we will know approximately how long it will take for you to close. If something changes, you can always pause it. You can always cancel it. It's not like you are logged in and now you are obligated to sell your home. No, you are the boss. You are in the driver's seat. Every time plans change, we can adjust. What legal documents do I sign as part of the MLS listing process? You will sign the listing agreement with your agent. This is promulgated by the Texas Real Estate Commission. So this is a legal document, legally binding. We are not attorneys, at least I am not, but as a licensed real estate agent, I am authorized to fill in the listing agreement, and on execution, it is a binding agreement between the seller and the listing agent. Are there fees associated with listing on the MLS or with buyer's agents? Yes, your listing agent will charge you a commission or a flat fee. It depends on the arrangement and the type of services that you require and your agent is offering. And these fees are usually paid to your agent at closing. Some companies ask for an upfront transaction fee. That's possible if they don't charge a commission, but you run the entire transaction, you deal with the buyer's agent, you deal with the buyer. So there are different scenarios, but basically you are paying your listing agent. Many times you are also paying the buyer's agent. Now with the NAR lawsuit, things have changed. So what has changed is that previously, when we did the listing agreement with you, the seller, we discussed how much commission are you willing to offer to the buyer's agent to bring the buyer to your home and run the transaction on the buyer's side. And we displayed this amount on the MLS. I mean, it could have been 3%, 2%, 2.5%, or just a flat fee, $10,000, $5,000, doesn't matter. Whatever you agreed to, we were able to display it as a buyer's agent commission on the MLS listing on our internal database. Now, that is not allowed anymore. So when we list the home with you, we discuss with you what the market trends are at the moment, and if you are willing to offer a commission to the buyer's agent. Buyers are also signing an agreement, a buyer representation agreement with their agents, and they also agree to pay the buyers, but many times they are told that the agent will try to get the compensation from the listing agent, because, I mean, from the listing side, from the seller. Just think about it that when you are a buyer and you have to get a loan, you have to put the down payment. That's a lot of cash to come up with upfront. And many times buyers don't have the extra 2 or 3% to pay their agents because it's a lot of money still. So they would first come to you, to the seller, or to the seller's agent to see if there is any compensation offered. We have to discuss it verbally. We cannot display it anywhere in writing. I mean, we can email or text to each other, obviously, but it's not a public information anymore. And at the closing, however way you agreed, if you are willing to just pay your listing agent the full commission and the agent is splitting the commission with the buyer's agent, or the other option is that you're just paying your agent directly, and when the buyer agent comes and requests a commission from you directly, then you pay the buyer's agent at the closing. And you also have the right to decline to pay any buyer's agent commission. However, keep in mind that buyers have other options and they can go and buy another home, especially in a market where they kind of have the upper hand. This is not a seller's market per se right now. And they can just go and buy another home where the agent is compensated by another seller. So this is something to keep in mind. But you do have the right not to offer any buyer's agent commission at all. How long does it take to prepare my home and get it listed on the MLS? Well, with me, it depends on where you're at, what your home looks like at the listing presentation. I provide you a detailed checklist to help you prepare your home room by room. You can take as much time as you want. Some people are living very minimalist style, so they don't have a lot of stuff. And some people have a lot of kids and pets, and they have too many things to arrange and clear out and declutter. So the time frame on your side, it depends on you. On our side, when the home is ready for photographs, I can pretty much take the pictures one day, do the 3D virtual tour the same day, and the pictures and the tour is ready the very next day. So it's a 24-hour turnaround. I can list your home within 24 hours, pretty much, if you are ready. If I make improvements after listing, can we update the MLS details? Yes. However, I prefer that you do the improvements before the listing. So you already display the improved, the upgraded version of your home. People see the history of the listing, so they can see how many days it's been on the market. And many times people want to adjust the price and add a little bit more because you invested money into your home and you think that you're supposed to get more for your home. So if you already had the home listed for, let's say, 2 months and it didn't sell either because it did need improvements or it was priced too high. So at this point, if you take it off the market to do the improvements and you relist it, I would rather recommend to take it off for 30 days. So the number of days on the listing starts from 0. And then when it's new and improved, you can put it back up. If the price adjustment is justified and you'd like to list it at a higher price, you can. However, it just depends on what you did. I mean, if you do like a full kitchen upgrade, you can ask for more money. But you also want to see if in that market, if it makes sense to put in any money into the home that you want to sell. So it's always smarter to discuss it before listing it. When we sign the listing agreement at our meeting, we can do a tour and I can give you ideas on what would improve the price, what improvement you could do to get a higher price or sell it faster. Sometimes you can do either or, sell it faster or ask for a little bit more money. And if it makes sense in the market, then you could do it before you list it. I hope that answered the question. How frequently should we adjust the listing if it isn't getting much attention? It's on a case-by-case basis, really. I mean, and if it's like a luxury home listed at $2 million, or if it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home listed at $350. So it's not the same situation. I would say that it's always the best idea to list it at market value. So to really take the comparable sold properties seriously, instead of thinking that, I just want to test the market and see if I can get more. In a seller's market, you can probably ask for a little bit more because buyers are fighting for your home. But right now, early 2025, this is not a seller's market. Interest rates are still high, prices are high, and buyers are waiting to see if prices will go down or interest rates will go down. If you don't get any showings for a longer period of time, and I would say at least 2-3 weeks, I would start adjusting it. And just depends on the type of market we are in. If nothing happens, if people are not coming, or people coming but you're not getting offers, you will have to keep adjusting it until it is at the right price, so the buyers will think that, okay, I can go ahead and put in an offer. How does the MLS ensure my listing reaches serious buyers? We have one software that is included in our MLS listings on our side, inside the database where we input the listing, and it's called reverse prospecting. A serious buyer, I would define a serious buyer by actively looking for a home and they already have a pre-approval letter. So that means that they are working with an agent. If they have an agent and they are set up on an auto search is basically just a search that we can set up for our buyers. So any day when a new home comes on the market that matches the criteria of the home that the buyers are looking for, they will get an instant email. And when this email goes out, I can see every day how many emails went out to new buyers, and I can contact that agent, the agent of that buyer. So those are the most serious buyers that are on our reverse prospecting listings. And that's how the MLS can ensure that agents can contact buyers, agents that have a buyer looking for your property. Can potential buyers contact me directly, or do they always go through their agents? Well, if that buyer is went through good orientation, they understand that if they want to see a home, they will have to contact their agent, and the agent is the one setting up the showings, asking the questions on behalf of the buyer. Sometimes if they do not have an agent, they may come to you, or they may just call the listing agent. We cannot control people's behaviors. So we did see before that people knock on the door. All you have to do is just to direct them to either their agents, and if they don't have one, to ask them to call your listing agent. You don't have to deal with the buyers, and we don't recommend it. Our open house is promoted through the MLS. Yes, this is where we, as the MLS is the multiple listing service. So when I have an open house coming up, I go to the MLS and I type in the date and time of the open house, and it will automatically go to Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, all the major sites that display that information. And the agents can also set up a search for open houses for their buyers if they want to go and visit open houses. Does the MLS listing include a virtual tour or Matterport walkthrough? Yes, they offer an automated slideshow of the pictures. It's called the property panorama or something like that. And it's just a slideshow with music, slideshow of the pictures. However, I do provide a Matterport tour for all of my listings, home listings. Obviously, I cannot do it on land. And that link, when I insert it on the MLS, it also goes to the other websites like Realtor.com. Realtor.com displays and gives a higher ranking to listings with 3D virtual tours. So that's why I really like to do the Matterport. Matterport is basically a 3D tour where you can see it on your phone, and then you can just virtually navigate and walk through the entire house. You can look around 360. You can also see the floor plan, so you understand exactly how the rooms are laid out, because many times the pictures are beautiful, but the layout doesn't work for a buyer. So you can see if the bedrooms are split enough or close enough, all that good stuff before you actually step into the home. So yes, the MLS does display 3D virtual tours. Can I see what other homes in my area look like on the MLS to stay competitive? Yes, I actually like to invite my sellers, if they're interested, to come and tour the similar homes in the area so you have a better understanding. But obviously, you can just search them on realtor.com, or I can send you your comps. When we come up with the pricing, I send you the comparable properties in the report called the Comparative Market Analysis, CMA, and you can see what other homes look like, and you can have a better idea of how yours compare to the ones that sold. This is how we come up with the market price. How do you position my home to stand out in the MLS listings? Well, there is something called an algorithm, and Zillow and Realtor.com are basically the major sites, maybe Redfin and Homes.com, where buyers go and run their own searches. And we understand the algorithm, like they give us a little idea of what they're looking for. So definitely maximum number of good quality pictures, descriptions, and pictures also come with descriptions. So we have extra areas to write more about each room and features, the 3D virtual tour, and the description of the property. So we maximize all the available tools that we can use to have a higher ranking. Does the MLS show if a home is under contract, and how does that affect offers? Yeah, so as soon as your home is under contract, we have to mark it on the MLS so people understand that it went under contract. If it's under an option period, that means that the buyer who is under contract with you, they have a certain number of days to do their inspection and basically change their minds for any reason whatsoever. This is what the option fee is paid for. So usually they just change their minds based on the inspection report, but they really don't have to explain why they want to back out. And it does affect other offers if your home gets back on the market, because if it's been on the market, it's been under contract, and somebody pulls out and it goes back on the market, agents can see. So they may have the idea of something happened, something's wrong with the home. So we carefully look at each offer, and we also understand the condition of your home and your seller disclosure form that is provided to the buyer, so we can predict how well that buyer will move through the process. The only thing that we cannot control is their credit approval. So yes, it does affect other offers. That's why we like to get it under contract and go through the finish line one time. Will buyers see my preferred closing date or move out timeline? Yes, we can definitely put that information on the MLS in the private remarks. And also you have different options. They can move in upon closing and funding, or you can request for a lease back. Just let's say that we close on a Friday and you need the entire weekend to move out to your new home. So you get a lease back of 2 days for Saturday and Sunday. So yes, that is something that we can communicate to the buyer. Can contingencies like selling my home before buying a new one be noted in the MLS listing? That will not go in the MLS listing. That goes only when you are a buyer. So when you are a seller, they really don't care if you're buying a new home or not. If you are a buyer and you have to sell your current home, yes, there will be a contingency and it will be a kick out. Kick out means that if the seller, you accept a contract with the buyer needing to sell their current home, we mark it as a kick out. This is the status of the listing, and other agents can see that. So if they have a buyer that would like to come and buy your home and tour your home, they can come look at the home, and if they are giving you another offer without the contingency, you can accept it as a backup offer. In this case, you will have to ask the number one contract, the first buyer, if they can waive that contingency. And sometimes they can, because they're already on the finish line, so they know that they will close. And if they cannot, then it means that they are kicked out and you can accept the next contract without the contingency. What happens if the buyer's financing falls through after the listing shows it's under contract? Yes, unfortunately, that happens sometimes, and this is something that we cannot control. it will have to go, the home will go back on the market. That's the only thing that we can do about it. The buyer is protected by the third-party financing addendum that gives them a protection if they cannot get the loan because their credit changed or for whatever reason they lost their job, for example, and they cannot purchase the home. They're not obligated to purchase the home. They can pull out within the time frame that they have in the third-party financing addendum. And also, if the appraisal comes in much lower than the offer price and they cannot get the full amount of loan from the bank and they want to renegotiate the price with you because they do not want to bring extra cash to buy the house, they can back out in that case as well. When it happens, your home goes back on the market and the whole process starts from the beginning. So if it's the fault of the appraisal, it's recommended to negotiate with the buyer because the next buyer will also do, probably will be a financing deal. So they will do another appraisal and the appraisal will come in at about the same. And if they cannot get the loan, they cannot buy the home. So at this point, it's up to you if you are willing to lower the price to the appraised value, which I would recommend if you want to get out. If you have more time to wait or you think that you can get a cash offer, then you can put it back on the market. I would definitely advise you to negotiate.